Well, I didn't expect that. So a lot more people watched that video than I expected. Seemingly, I was blessed by the YouTube algorithm. Really appreciate the support I got on that one. A lot of nice comments followed with it. But something I'd like to address is that a lot of that video was unscripted and was just me having a bit of fun with a rant. Obviously, I wanted to sprinkle some good facts in there. I do care a lot about competitive Team Fortress 2 after all. But that video is littered with a bunch of mistakes and I know I can do better than that, so let's do a sequel. If this video does pop up in the algorithm again, I will definitely make more videos in the future. I'll try and keep the quality high. I'll try and keep the facts accurate, and I will use all the proceeds for evil. Okay, so we're going to start out with Secret this time. So, Secret is a call-out that you'll find on a couple of maps where you have to stay hidden, or some sort of flank, or basically just have that little moment where you can sneak there as spy, scout, fuck the enemy team up, you get the point. So, naturally areas like this on Gullywash can be called Secret. It sneaks behind the enemy team, or below them in this case, and you can use it to get to the point, uncloak as spy. It enables you to do a lot of things in secret, as per the name. You'll also find Secret in an older version of Sunshine. It was this door here, where it was underneath the main combo, which they would stand up here, and then you could either rush to the point, rush behind them, either way. By the way, if this screenshot looks like shit, it's because I had to take this from comp.tf, because I can't find this map anywhere, this version of the map. I don't know if I'm stupid, but either way. Logjam has one as well. It's called Sneaky, not Secret, but it's a similar thing. It's a flanking area that you can use to get around the combo. You get the point, I assume. So what the fuck is Coalplant talking about when this is apparently called Secret? There's no cover, there is no secret flank angle. This is just like a spot for spies to decloak. It's exclusive to that class. A scout couldn't get here. A soldier would have been shredded to pieces by the main combo. This is not secretive in any way. What are you even thinking? Okay, this one's a small one, but you know I'm petty. So, bad water. There's a window here. It's called Window. You get it. We're on the same page. Loving it. No fun facts here. It's called Window because guess what? It's a fucking window. Yet no place on CompTF lists this fucking window as any call-out, so I guess it's called Window also. I might be wrong here, I might be making something up, and I'm sure the comments will let me know. But here's the thing, right? I would argue this window is more important than this window. I'm not going to downplay this window. It's a decent sightline and stops everything in Boiler Room. Boiler Room is called Boiler Room because it's a fucking boiler inside. Anyway, this window gives you access to the entirety of Last Point. You can see map room. You can see the spawns. Admittedly, you can't see the combo. I'll give it that. That's probably why it's not considered as important. But you have so much defense on this window that, like, anytime a sniper peers down it, it's a free kill before anyone notices. Granted, if a sniper actually gets here, your flank has fucked up in Highlander. That's I can admit that. But still, give the window a call out. If someone actually gets there, you need to make sure people know. Okay, all in all, I have not played that much Highlander. I've got a couple seasons under my belt, but I'm not an expert on this one. Nor have I played competitive Gravel Pit that much, outside of, like, TF2 Center, which in itself is a bit of a mess, so my credentials aren't great in this area. But what a fucking mess of a map is Gravel Pit. I was just browsing CompTF to find out, like, cool things to talk about in this video, and I click on Gravel Pit, and what a fucking mess this one is. AB connector, AC connector, AH connector. I get it, it's the points, but still, that just confuses me. And if you didn't think Process was bad enough with the whole numbering thing, then congratulations, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least on Process, they're all in front of you. I have to do the 360 to realize where these are. Yes, admittedly, Gravel Pit's a free one. It's an old TF2 map design. It doesn't have a lot of the special sauce we have in modern TF2 maps. But it makes me so happy to realize that we don't play attack defend in 6s anymore, because every game just would be a steamroll, or it would be a 2-hour fest of not playing the game. So I'm glad Highlander players don't really play Gravel Pit anymore, but they fucking love steel! I got 1 or 2 comments on the last video saying, oh, if everything was just called Shutter, people wouldn't know where the game was. And, okay, I get it. There was a little bit of confusion on whether I was joking about it, or just having a bit of fun, or being serious. Yes, 100%, I do agree. We shouldn't be calling every Shutter, Shutter. I didn't make that obvious, that's on me. However, what if, hypothetically, I told you, there was a TF2 map that was played competitively and has this issue. I introduce you back to fucking Coalplant that has decided to name this Shutter and this Shutter both Shutter. They're right next to each other. How the fuck, when I say Shutter, are people gonna know where the fuck it is? Yes, TF2 callouts get reused in a bunch of places, and contextually we understand where people are. So for example, if you're on Snakewater and someone calls out, oh, they're in Saw, depending on if you're stood here or here, you understand if it's their Saw or our Saw. By the way, yes, I did fuck up and call it Sawmill in the last video. I had saws on the brain, my mistake. But the shutters on Coal Plant are so close that one rocket jump gets you to the other one. If people don't catch that you said our or their, the scout that is flanked behind you will be walking out and will be two-shotting your medic. It's just something that I found funny that I got critiqued for, absolutely valid, and they did it anyway, fucking years before me. Alright, we're going to do some more random words, see where it gets us, see where it lands us. So, we're going to go down to Snakewater this time. Yep, never living it down that I call it Sawmill, but we're going to go down to Snakewater. Underneath the point, this area is called Africa. I have been told that this is called Africa because a little smudge on the ground looks like Africa, yet I am playing on the best settings I can achieve, and I'm sorry, this doesn't look like Africa. I don't know why people instantly thought this mud stain was Africa, but I guess people just roll with it nowadays. I would have called it Australia because, you know, it's the land down under. I talked about banana last video, and even though people took it as I was calling banana a bad call out, never did say that in the video. I just thought it was a weird use on metal words considering the shape of the map. I was reminded though that elbow and banana can be actually interchanged between either side of the map. I talked to a couple players that I used to play with, and they had a very different opinion on which was called which, so I'm just going to leave that into the ether. Either way, elbow still kind of works for the one I put in the video because it is shaped like that. You can make an elbow do that shape if you try hard enough. But both banana and elbow get reused throughout multiple maps, and a bunch of ones from Counter-Strike where the callouts originated from. So it surprises me when a map like Swiftwater just calls this area Arm. It's just called Arm. Doesn't even refer to the whole area. It gets stopped here at Pallet, so it's just this little tiny section here. It's the arm of a baby, I would assume. This door on Reckoner is called Little Door. No joke here, but if you saw the last one, you know why I'm bringing this up. A couple people informed me that on Steel, this area is called JFK, and that's because it's a good sniper spot. Pretty in character for the TF2 community. And another group of people told me to talk about this call out on Process. Okay, rant over with. We're getting into the interesting stuff now. Now that I've established that I'm half joking, half serious, let's use that as an amazing scapegoat in the comments. This area of Reckoner is called Toxic, which refers to the toxic barrels you'll see in this area, and definitely not the TF2 competitive player base. And this area on Badlands has two names, both Pride and Launchpad, the first one referring to the fact that this rock looks like the one from The Lion King, and the other one is because you can do fucking this. Damn, do I love the Source engine. A fun fact I learned from one of my friends Nosa, who played in the South American Team Fortress 2 divisions, is that this area on Sunshine is just called Suicide. Not sure how true this is because it's just one person telling me this, but I'm going to put it in the video anyway, and that's because anyone who walks down to grab this health pack will instantly die because they're on low ground. The player A Seagull popularized this spot on Process as a really good spot to bomb during mid-fights, and after the popularity of that spot during mid-fights was noticed, it became Seagull, the call-out. Depending on how old you are in the Team Fortress 2 community, you might know this spot called Power on Product, and that's because the player Power would sneak up into this spot on Sniper of all classes and absolutely demolish people without them even noticing. Here's a clip.
Soldier right again.
And then watch it fire.
He doesn't see me.
That's how.
Where are you in spot?
Right. I got the medic.
Oh my god. Who got the
God.
medic?
Makes me wish more callouts in TF2 were based on pro players or really cool things people have done in competitive, and we're kind of overdue for Banny to get one, so I propose this window I talked about in Badwater right at the start of the video is called Die White Girls. Thank you all for watching the video. If this one does as well as the last one, I'll make more videos, probably on a different topic though. I don't want to just do map callouts, but I'll keep it in that sort of niche TF2 facts that maybe not a lot of people have made stuff on. But we'll get there when we get there, who knows. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. It was Sideshow. It was Sideshow who called this shit dick on Sunshine's first ever competitive appearance. It is him you have to blame. Do not walk into my comment section and say I'm crazy. I am not crazy!